it's just about, I will share now. 1 minute. Okay. So let me prepare and good evening, everybody. Hello. Is everybody here? Do we have, okay. So, hi, Martin, good evening. How are you doing? We are live now. So I will meet you at the end of this journey. See you later. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Are you there already? Please give me a sign if you're there, if you arrived. Such a pleasure being with you right now. So it's 7 o'clock, 3 minutes, Portugal time zone. It's 8 o'clock in Poland and around Europe. And I think I will start now. Okay, so it's really a big pleasure being with all of you tonight. This is the second time we are... oh, hi, Susanna. Good evening. How are you doing? Nice to having you here. Wow. And okay, so I had this same presentation 2 weeks ago in Portuguese, and after several requests, we decided, together with Martin and Duo Live, we decided to go live in English, same content and different language. So it's great pleasure to do it and to try to disseminate knowledge a little bit further. So let's talk for the first time. And this is my blog, Let's Talk, at my channel, YouTube channel, Chemistry of Wellness, and also in Instagram and Facebook. You can just follow and leave your questions, whatever, we can interact. So this first talk is about the key to achieve health. Health and well-being, of course, they are connected. So one technical issue, because it's the first time I'm going live on YouTube. Okay, so first is first. So why Let's Talk? It's very important to me. I really appreciate sharing knowledge, and I think empower well-being means promoting balance and health in all dimensions of life. And with this blog, Let's Talk, I can reach one person at a time. I can play an educational role. I can help transforming lives through knowledge, and of course, through something very, very important for me, it's individual empathy. At the same time, my priority, it's of course your health. So wherever I can inform, educate, I will do it. I have a little bit of a content for today. So we have here an overview of main ideas. We'll go through a small introduction. We'll have a small journey also through human nutrition evolution. We'll have a look on the impact of the Industrial Revolution on nutrition. It was a bit of a mark in history. And then we'll have a generalized look on the new industry, nutritional supplements industry, and what is it all about. And all the new generation of dietary supplements, the supposed so-called natural ones. And the final question, should we supplement? So we'll have a look on that. For now, and to start, I leave you the definition of health by World Health Organization, established in 1946. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So this is World Health Organization states that well-being, it's a balance in various dimensions of human life, and the three of them, physical, mental, and social. And I prepared some teasers, I brought you some inspirations I have on the research I do, on the studies I do. And this Dr. Eric Berg, is not a medical, a physicist. He's a chiropractic, a very good one. He's all over the internet, in his social media, YouTube, Facebook, and he's very critical on the nutrition state we have on the 21st century. And I chose this picture. It's very interesting because it's quite true. Health isn't found in the foods you had, but yes, in the poisons you avoid. It's very, very real. This and a little further on the presentation, I'll talk about pesticides, and you'll remember this Eric Berg's phrase. It's very, very interesting. So we basically are what we eat. Okay, so the key to the best possible state of health begins with nutrition well-being. But, and I bring you another inspiration, and this is a doctor, an MD, physicist, is Brazilian. I don't think you will find many information in English about this gentleman, Lair Ribeiro. He's a cardiologist, and he's a nutrition specialist. He's also trained in psychiatry, and he says his affirmation is rather a little bit different, and but different from we are what we eat is we are what our food ate. So we should change the focus and we should look at the origin of our food. And that's what I prepared today to show you where is our food coming, especially since the Industrial Revolution, and what are we eating actually. Okay, and another inspiration of mine, Dr. Rupi Ayula. Dr. Rupi is a medical, a physician with an MD from a national health system in the United Kingdom. And he says that the greatest impact on your health does not come from a revolutionary medication or a groundbreaking surgical technique, but from the simplest solution, how we eat. And that's very true. How we eat might be poisons, might be the food that our food ate. And so I crossed with Dr. Rupi in his TED Talk, and he shared this interesting story in this TED Talk when he was a very young physician, and he had this first situation in his life of losing a patient. So this lady came into the emergency room having an heart attack, and despite the efforts of the entire team, Dr. Rupi and his team, they were unable to save her, even with all the knowledge of all years in training. So they simply couldn't do anything more to save her. And so I have some data. This is quite dramatic. I have some data and to share with you. According to data from European Union, more or less 1,500 people per day die from coronary heart diseases. And this includes heart attack and myocardial infarctions, sorry. So in the European Union, cardiovascular diseases are the leading cause of mortality, causing nearly half of all deaths in Europe. And like this poor lady, this woman that Dr. Rupi was not able to save, many suffer from undiagnosed and untreated conditions that have developed over time. And for many, the first and only symptom is the fatal collapse that ends their lives. So, this pivotal experience led Dr. Rupi to create his project. You can see in my presentation, The Doctor's Kitchen. He has this beautiful blog, and this is the book, the cover of the book he wrote. And he tries to teach people how to eat to beat illness. It's very interesting. You should follow him also. So he inspired himself on this first dramatic event of his career. He inspired himself and he started a culinary nutrition program to train students of the medical department in university, so medical training for students. So in his TED talk, he thanks the opportunity of those 15 minutes, and he would try to save as many lives as possible, the ones like for that lady he couldn't save. So talking about food, he would try to save lives. And that's today, with my utmost humility, thank you, everyone that is here with me tonight. I would thank you for this opportunity and try to share my worries about what we are eating and try to, in a humble way, to show you and to make you understand some important aspects, and I might be helping saving few lives. That would be really, really nice. So at this moment, I would like to present myself and talk a little bit about me. And first of all, I don't have a medical diploma, but what I really love, I love to live, and I love to live well. And live well, to me, it's living in good health. And that's why I'm here today also. So I'm a PhD in chemical engineering and biotechnology. And I've been working all my life, amongst other things, with food safety and quality issues involved with the food industry. Yes, directly in the shop floor, trying to help industry to improve food safety level of what my clients are producing. So yeah, so and as per my age, I'm not as young as in this picture. I'm 52, and I also know a little bit about menopause by personal experience. So for the ladies that are here with me and share this experience, yes, it's tough time, but nothing we can do to improve our health, and through food also a little bit. So in another opportunity, we can talk a little bit about this very interesting and important theme as menopause is. And now we have this million-dollar question, and is, what should I eat? What should I eat? So every day we're bombarded with all sorts of information, trends, opinions. Vegans clash with carnivores. Paleo advocates debate with diabetes associations. We have so many diets. But if we focus on some of the most popular ones, the ones that have credible foundations, like scientific foundations, like our well-known Mediterranean diet or paleo, low carb, low fat, Atkins, and others that are really reliable already, we'll find some common, we can notice there are some common denominators, and they are removal of processed foods. All these most efficient diets and that are scientifically proved that they work, they all removed processed foods from the basis of the diets. And included in those processed foods is fast foods, no fast foods, and excess of sugars. So, and next question, what do all these diets include? And they all include lots of veggies. So plants are a big source of micronutrients like vitamins and minerals. They are also very rich in phytochemicals, and they play an important role in cellular regeneration. And veggies, of course, are rich in fiber. So, and fiber, I don't know if you know, but I'm here to tell you. Our microbiome, so the microorganisms, this incredible population of microorganisms that lives in our intestines, in our gut, they support our health by aiding in the digestion of food. And the good microorganisms rely on fiber to produce and to release these magnificent nutrients they release, and they help rebalance inflammatory processes that we might have because of our type of because of the type of foods we have, and they help us managing excess sugar amongst other aspects. So fiber is very important in all these reliable diets. Also, quality fats. High quality fats are amazing for our health. They contain an enormous amount of essential fatty acids, and these fats are crucial for the proper functioning of our brain. Our brain is like 70% fat and serve as precursors to hormone production. So hormone production depends on the level of fat we have. And these hormones are constantly active throughout the body. And also, a common denominator of these diets is the colors. So, plenty of colors. A diverse diet rich in colorful foods is composed by a wide variety of plants and has the power of influence the expression of our genes, promoting health. So, we are starting to enter the fascinating field of nutrigenetics. So, and epigenetics. These are themes we can speak in another Let's Talk. Okay, moving forward. We all of us know that it's very important to go through a prudent diet, so we can, if we want to reduce the risk of autoimmune diseases, cancer, obesity, depression, inflammatory diseases. So all of these depend upon the prudent diet we are going through, we are using, what we are eating. But there is this conflict over which diet is best for us. All this information about different diets creates kind of an apathy towards demotivation and the potential changes that each one of us can implement in our eating behavior. So we kind of get stuck with so much information. At the same time, we cannot forget, we cannot just rip it off this important fact that food has a very, very huge emotional side on our lives. We express emotions in life celebrations. Who didn't have last weekend a birthday, a friend's celebration? Food is part of people's culture, and food is part of history of our countries, of our nations. So it plays a pivotal role. And yeah, food it's not a panacea, but actually, yeah, food is not a universal solution for all the single things that we feel bad about, all the damage in our health, but it's indeed a fundamental part of achieving well-being. Food doesn't replace appropriate medical care, the correct medication, diagnostic tools. Actually, emergency medicine is essential, saving millions of lives every day around the globe. And as well, the lack of education of doctors in nutrition science. So it's very, very important. As important as food is that doctors learn nutrition science in their training periods. And also culinary arts. How do doctors want to teach patients about nutrition and what they should eat and how to eat it if they don't have that foundational education on their training periods? Also, our children. It's very, very important for our children to learn about where the food is coming. What is the origin of the food they find in their plates every day, in their lunches that go in their backpack to school? There's a very important phrase from European food safety history. It's from farm to table. Children should be informed that food doesn't just appears on the supermarket shelves. Chickens come from the egg, and vegetables come from the farm, and so it's very, very important to have this foundational education for children, literacy, nutritional literacy for children, and also access to healthier foods that today, nowadays, is conditioned by where we live. If you live in big, big centers, urban centers, we are kind of conditioned to access healthier foods. Okay, so now we can we start this travel around human nutrition, and we are around 2.5 million years before Christ. So and we were nomads, prehistory. So in the early stages of humanity, nomadic lifestyle like hunting, gathering were the primary food sources. We had a diverse diet whenever we could find fruits, nuts, roots, and meat. We were hunters. And the eating was seasonal. So if it was summer and there was berries in the woods, we would eat berries. If it was winter and we were lucky to hunt an animal, we would eat meat. So it was, and we survived. And then 10,000 years ago, the Neolithic revolutions, some changes arose. So we started to have permanent settlements. So domestication of plants and animals started to happen. We started to cultivate grains and legumes. We started to farm livestock. And, well, one might say that it all started here. Well, you'll see that here it was not the problem. We just didn't, we were not nomads anymore. We started to be settled. But the biggest problem was when we settled even more in the Industrial Revolution. We'll have a look later. Okay, going through our travel, the ancient civilization. So 3,500 years ago, Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, and they introduced agricultural techniques, and food diversity increased. So we started having access to products like wine, olive oil, spices, and of course, we start to observe that social classes had influence on the food evolution. So the wealthy had access to more sophisticated foods. In the Middle Ages, so from here 500 to 1500, so from 500 to the epoch of the discoveries, we could notice very important geographical and climate influence. So diet was based on grains, legumes, and some meats. The use of spices was even more imprinted. Of course, more common in wealthy regions because it was expensive and it was not accessible for everybody. And an expression of social status started to appear with feasts and banquets. Moving forward in our travel, we arrive at Renaissance and commercial expansion. So this picture, it's the discovery of Brazil by Cabral in the year 1500. And of course, new culinary ideas arose, influence of exploration and exchanges between continents, very important ones. New foods were introduced like potatoes, tomatoes, corn, exchanged seeds to other continents, and of course, the global impact across various regions of the diversification of diet. And here we arrive finally to Industrial Revolution. And it began around the 20th century and extended throughout 19th century. And the Industrial Revolution radically transformed the economy, society, and culture. Alongside these shifts, agriculture and entire food systems were also transformed. Many of the technological, social, and economic changes introduced by the Industrial Revolution had both direct and indirect impacts on how we produce, process, and consume food. So let's have a look here. We started the mechanization of processes, which led to the appearance of new working habits. We slipped from physical work outside with the nature to being inside a factory, performing automatic labor in front of a machine or sitting down in an office. At the same time, we assisted to nutrient depletion from soils, from plants, and obviously with the need of the new urban areas, we observed the emergence of processed foods. So the need for more food for more people led to the appearance of new process of producing foods. Okay, so starting resume here of what happened with the start of Industrial Revolution. And just before, local and sustainable agriculture with crop rotation, polyculture, and small-scale farming occurred. But with the Industrial Revolution, we started mechanizing and large-scale agriculture. The first machine, the steam plow. So we increased the monocultures because we needed to supply urban markets. And the consequences of that, we exhausted soil nutrients. So we disrupted natural cycles. So we started needing synthetic fertilizers and artificial soil recovery practices. So we depleted the soils, so we needed co-adjuvants to keep producing. Okay, so we start using fertilizers and herbicides, and I leave it a word here, glyphosate, and we'll get back here. So we needed to develop large-scale synthetic fertilizers, and synthetic fertilizers. Okay, these synthetic fertilizers allowed cultivation on the poor soils I just referred. And we needed to increase food production to support urban growth. So this continuous use does not replenish all soil micronutrients. So it results in lower nutritional density of our food. So it's like a closed circle, okay? And additional to this lower nutritional density in food and poor soils, poor in nutrition, obviously, accumulated with the herbicides on the soils and on the food and on the water, just like glyphosate. I don't know if any one of you ever learned about glyphosate. Glyphosate is a broad spectrum herbicide. Let me tell you some data about glyphosate. The France-based International Agency for Research on Cancer, which is part of the World Health Organization, classified glyphosate as a probable human carcinogen in 2015. So 9 years ago, already 9 years ago. Its commercial introduction was made by Monsanto under the Roundup brand in 1974. So we didn't have these all these sicknesses around us, these autoimmune diseases, chronic diseases by 74, by the 80s. We didn't listen about all these diseases. But okay, and nowadays, Roundup brand, it belongs to Bayer since 2018. It was purchased by Bayer. So glyphosate has a devastating impact on biodiversity and human health. For example, it kills the soil microbiome. Killing the soil microbiome, all the bacteria, all the microorganisms that were in the soil, we are disrupting important biochemical reactions, and so many nutrients will not be available for plants, will not be accessible for plants. So during their growth, so plants will be depleted of those nutrients because the bacteria is not there anymore. The microorganisms were killed by glyphosate. And the question here is, if it destroys the soil microbiome, what happens to human and animal gut microbiome? If glyphosate is able to kill, to deplete our soil, all the soils, and even the water resources of life, what is glyphosate doing to our bodies, to our microbiome? Because food is contaminated, vegetables are contaminated with glyphosate. Okay, so Europe faces a choice, very interesting one actually. Europe either poison or protect its citizens, us, actually, it's us. Incredibly, in November 2023, the European Commission approved the use of glyphosate for additional 10 years. After the EU's Food Safety Agency stated that did not identify critical areas of concern. Yes, it's true. They said this and they approved for 10 more years the use of glyphosate in Europe. So this decision, of course, is purely driven by economic factors and contributes to the ongoing deterioration of health and nature. However, there's the positive side. Each country in Europe is autonomous in deciding whether to ban or not glyphosate. So, a little bit of history. We can have a look on some examples. Luxembourg was the first country to ban its use in 2020. But, well, they said there are other alternatives in market, but Bayer took them to court. So Bayer won and glyphosate was introduced in market again. Yeah, that's true. Also, France in 2020 offered a credit line, money, to farmers who did not use glyphosate. That they could use other herbicides, and a French government since 2020 is paying their farmers not to use glyphosate. And they recognized in 2020, they recognized Parkinson's disease as a professional disease of the farmers. But this was not enough to ban glyphosate in France. It's still in use. And now, the utmost concerning examples come from Portugal. Yes, Portugal, my own country. And here's a bit of history. Let me tell you that in 2017, Portugal was the country that used the most glyphosate, with high levels detected in the soil and Portuguese people pee. Yes, urine. Yeah. So we are eating, we are drinking glyphosate, and then we are peeing glyphosate. What do you think glyphosate is doing to our bodies? Well, it is inside of us. So, keeping up Portugal glyphosate history, we are now in 2023, and an European study 1 year ago from a non-governmental organization revealed that 11 out of 12 countries that were studied, glyphosate was found in their rivers. So 11 out of 12 European countries. And this glyphosate had clearly a negative impact on aquatic life and water quality for human consumption. So clearly we have a public health issue, a very serious one. In this study, Portugal was again the leader in river contamination. I give you an example. Toxic concentrations were found in Idanha Nova. It's a city we have here. And this concentration was 30 times higher, 30 times higher than the legal limit for drinking water. Yeah. Overall, 17 out of 23 samples tested across our country had glyphosate in it in levels above 0.2 micrograms per liter. Let me tell you that the legal limit is 0.1 micrograms per liter, so the double in 17 samples. Just another example out of Europe. Let me tell you, and you all know how Americans deal with this issue. So, California awarded $332 million to a man that sued Monsanto, contending that his cancer was related to decades of using Roundup. Yeah, in the US, it's like that. We all know that. Okay, moving forward, let me check my notes. Yeah, so a lot of changes with the Industrial Revolution, with the selection of crop varieties. So we needed different varieties of plants for large-scale production that grow faster and better. So bigger vegetables as a result, and faster. And then we had this. We needed efficient food in terms of cultivation, transport, and storage. There was an enormous focus on productivity, resistance of the food to transport. We needed to prolong shelf life of the food. And of course, all these needs impact and have the reduction in nutritional quality. Let me just tell you that there are studies that prove that, for example, if you collect a spinach today and you test for vitamin C, and then you retest 4, 5, 6 days later, if you collect those leaves, those spinach leaves from a supermarket shelf, vitamin C levels will be almost zero. So it's very different if you have these vegetable green leaves, fruits, whatever, that you can eat them in the same day they are collected or 1 or 2 days. It's very different from 4, 5, 6 days. So, of course, we are working on the monoculture, so high yield crops were prioritized. And which one of them? We all know them also, like wheat, corn, rice, soy. So there's a huge reduction in biodiversity in agriculture, and of course, abandonment of traditional crops. So it's quite complicated. Also, harvesting and storage practices were altered. With growth of cities and the long distances between the cities and the places where the food is grown, is planted, we needed to long distance transport and extended storage. Of course, at the same time, we needed to have early harvesting. So we are harvesting before maturity. And if we are harvesting before maturity, of course, the food has fewer nutrients. It's not mature. So it's not as rich as it should be. Also, some preservation methods, like pasteurization, for example, refrigeration, have this negative impact on reducing nutrients. For example, vitamin C in fruit juices or other foods, other processes. So, with the Industrial Revolution, food processing and mass production of food started as a need because of the growth of urban areas. So we needed to develop new processing techniques for the food to preserve it and to have it more accessible. So we started refining grains. We all know what is this. We all know the white flour that we use in our bread, canned food, frozen food, pasteurized food. So we can assure food safety, but we cannot assure nutritional safety. And these are two big things, two very important things. It's very important that we eat food that is not contaminated, that will not harm us, but at the same time, this food is depleted, is no nutrients in it. Okay, consequences of that, positive one or not, we have more accessible foods, but the food has fewer nutrients. White rice, refined flour, so many. And what happens when I talk to you about white rice, refined flour, all of you recall some information that you read in the labels of some food products. Standardization of products is happening. So if you go through products in shelf a supermarket, you start reading, you will not notice some kind of homogeneous information. You will find starches, you'll find sugar, starches, potato starch, corn starch, rice starch. It's sugar. So it's different wording for sugar. So you will find all these base in a very big amount of products. If you go through, for example, a protein mix that people love to use to prepare milkshakes, or the beautiful vegetable shake in the morning with some protein powder, if you go through the label, you'll find out that half of it, most times half of it or more, it's not protein, it's sugar in starch mode. So it's starch. When you eat it, your acids in your stomach and all the enzymes will cut it down in sugar that will be absorbed. So you're not having protein as you thought, you're having sugar. Okay, industrial revolution impacted also climate change. We started listening about climate change, greenhouse emissions, so carbon dioxide. If there is available a bigger amount of carbon dioxide, plants will grow faster because they have more carbon accessible to grow and transform it in oxygen. So if plants grow faster, they will be lower in nutrient concentration. Yeah. And of course, higher temperatures, altered rainfall patterns. So these all have negative impact on the quality and growth cycle of crops. And then Industrial Revolution brought us changes in eating habits. So if, well, I hope you're listening well to me, because I just found out I had the wrong, hopefully, let me just check if everything is okay. Yeah, I think everything is okay. So, well, I'm quite new at using this technology, so I'm so sorry if something is not going as it should. But I just found out I was using the wrong the wrong earbuds. You might be listening even better now from now on. Okay, getting back to changes in eating habits. So we observed mass migration of people to cities looking for better life and work opportunities. So there was a shift from eating fresh foods to industrialized diets, more industrialized diets. And because people have now less time for cooking, there was a need for convenience foods. So there was an increase in processed foods. So modern diet includes foods low in nutrients, high in calories, high in sugars, and high in refined salt. So marine salt is very good for us. It's a mix of around 80 minerals, all required for our health. But what industry uses refined salt. So it's just chlorine and chlor and natrium, so sodium. So it's different. Okay, we will talk in one of these next let's talk. We'll approach salt, the salt issue as a nutrient, and of course we created a dependence on ultra processed foods with all these events. Other issue that resulted from industrial revolution was the reduction in food biodiversity. So as I told you previously, there's a dominance of a few crops like wheat, corn, soy, rice, and a few others. And this reduction of biodiversity increased the risk of nutritional deficiencies, of course. We are eating repetitively the same things. So we don't have a diverse diet. And even these foods are depleted of nutrients. So also effects on soil health. So less diversity of food in the soil leads to less diversity of nutrients in the diet, of course. Also, the quality of animal feed. So, intensive farming compromises nutrition and health of animals also. So, we have access now to products with lower nutritional value and potentially harmful effects. A little bit of information about the consequences of all these in the animal food products like meat and seafood today with a much lower nutritional value. And there's a growing concern for public and environmental health regarding quality of animal-derived foods. So with this event of urban sites with lots of people requiring food, intensive farming arose. So excessive use of antibiotics and hormones implies presence of chemical residues in food products. Let me give you an example. We see the cows here, and we know there are varieties of milk cows that are there just to produce milk. A normal cow, like when I was very young, a child, as in that picture I showed you before, I used to go with my mother to fetch the milk in a cow. Well, in English I don't know the name, but where there was a gentleman who had the 2 or 3 cows. We went there to fetch the milk, and that cow could have like 6-7 liters of milk each day. And nowadays our cows are prepared, the milking cows, they are prepared to have like 70 liters a day. And how can you do that? You have to give cows hormones, or cows have to be permanently pregnant when they are feeding, when they are still feeding recent born cow. I don't know the name, a calf. I think it's a calf cow. They are already pregnant, or they are having hormones to improve the production of milk. And what does this do to the breast, cow's breast? Well, actually, I don't know if this is the official name, veterinarian name for a cow's breast, but okay. So because they are continuously producing milk, and it's not natural, they are always in an inflammatory process, and they need to be fed with antibiotics to prevent infections. So the milk that we see in the supermarket is full of hormones, full of antibiotics, is pasteurized. So it's not a very interesting product, food product. But anyways, I love milk. I'm not having it right now, but I love milk. I have to decide what I'm going to do in the future. So animal feed, it's low quality feed and byproducts. It's well known that fish flours, what we use to feed fish, includes fish bone flour. The same to cows. Cow's food includes, well, the fed is prepared using cow bones from the meat industry. So this decreases the nutritional value of the meat we eat. Also, marine pollution. So the fish that doesn't come from intensive farming, that comes from the ocean, actually is, depending on the origin, it's also contaminated by heavy metals, toxins, plastics, microplastics, etc. And then there's the impact of aquaculture. You see the picture here. Toxins are produced by fish, and fish live in these toxic environments. So it's overcrowded environments, and they are eating their own toxins. So all of these compromised safety and nutritional quality, of course. So little bit of a wrapping up here. How the industrial revolution and the loss of access to nutrients are related. Okay, so there's a profound impact of the industrial revolution, and that there are profound changes in urban life and work, obviously resulting in a negative impact on the population's health and nutrition. There's a mass migration from rural areas to cities looking for better opportunities, mechanization of the physical work that used to be done, and the rise of factories. All of these alter daily habits and the living environment. And for example, sun exposure and vitamin D production in our bodies. People transitioned from outdoor labor and physical tasks, very heavy physical tasks, to indoor mechanized work, like in front of an automated production line, or even sitting in an office job all day long. No sun exposure. This led to a significant reduction in physical activity. So we started to have more sedentary lifestyle. And this marked the beginning of the new sedentary area. Don't forget that we talked already about, we once were sedentary, or in our way of living, when we settled early on Neolithic revolution. We settled, we started raising cattle, we started planting, but that was different. We were still doing a lot of physical activity. We were working outside. It's a different mark. It's a different mark in history, as I told you, as I told you previously. So this decreased sun exposure negatively impacted vitamin D production. Vitamin D3, it's essential for the calcium and phosphorus absorption to bones. But not just that, vitamin D3 is actually an hormone. Yeah, it's a steroid hormone, and it belongs to that class. And when it was discovered, they thought it was a vitamin. It was baptized by vitamin D3, but actually it was discovered it's an hormone, and this hormone is responsible. Is one of the biggest immune system regulation. So it's very, very important for our immune system, vitamin D3. We will explore this subject further on in one of our next webinars with this Let's Talk blog. So we increased sedentary lifestyles, leading to health issues as obesity, heart diseases, diabetes, and so on. And reduced physical activity also harms metabolism, and nutrient utilization by the body, as we all know. Also, changes in dietary habits. So the rise of these sedentary lifestyles has led to an increased dependence on processed and industrialized foods, which are generally poor in nutrients and high in inflammatory ingredients like sugars and seed oils. Well, meals have become faster and more convenient. Who doesn't even experimented a quick lunch in front of the computer? Yeah, all of us. We rely on ultra-processed foods with high levels of sugar, seed oils. Seed oils are canon, by the way, you all know that, and low nutritional density. So we are just eating volume, if I may say so. So even people who follow a more traditional diet that they have access to buy natural wholesome ingredients and try to eat balanced meals, they still face deficiencies. Why? Because as I previously spoke of, the example of spinach, food is depleted. Even the most natural one, not the processed one, food is depleted of nutrients. And remember the spinach and vitamin C example I've just referred a little while ago. So all of these resulted in unbalanced diets and emergency of nutritional deficiencies. We all have a few nutritional deficiencies nowadays. Also, the decrease in food biodiversity. The Industrial Revolution enabled the large-scale production of a new staple crops, such as wheat, corn, soy, rice. So this monoculture led to a decrease in food diversity and a lack of a varied nutrients in the human diet. The industrialization of agriculture also prioritized quantity over quality. Bigger vegetables, but empty of nutrients, resulting in products that are less nutrient dense. So we are talking about GMO. I think everybody have heard about GMO, genetic modified organisms, and the objective is clearly to grow faster and bigger, but empty of the important nutritional requirements. Also, and to finish here, the impact of pollution. So the growth of industry and the urban sites contributed to air, soil, and water pollution. And this has a direct impact on food quality and further reducing its nutritional value. So, yeah, that's it. I had a teaser here. For example, just to go to our conclusion here, as if GMO plant foods grow in poor quality soils, so genetically modified foods, the ones that I just told you, that were transformed genetically to grow bigger and faster. So because of their nature, genetic nature, they will be nutrient depleted. If they are grown in poor quality soils and contaminated, do not forget that these GMO plants will be also contaminated with glyphosate, for example, and the other herbicides and the pesticides. And so you see, it's a vicious circle. So the direct impact on food quality and its nutritional value is an escalating issue we can't ignore anymore. So as a conclusion for this industrial revolution era, It might have marked the beginning of a fantastic era. Yeah, it's because of the Industrial Revolution that I'm here today with you, having this first talk. But, however, I don't want to be negative. I'm mostly a positive person, but this era could also be signaling the end of humanity as we know it. And we all know it's true. We urgently need to restore the balance between development and the sustainability of this beautiful planet. And it's so we all have this response. Meanwhile, while we are working on these magnificent sustainability projects that have a lot of economic interest, we have to find some answer to these nutritional deficiencies humankind is facing. So we are assisting, we are watching a rise of nutritional supplements industry. So they emerged in response to the poor nutritional quality following the industrial revolution of the food and fat. So from the 40s, we started observing marketing of supplements. So supplements, nutritional supplements began to be sold after World War II. Yeah, it's that old. And some trends that I want to show you that fueled the growth of the nutritional industry. From the 70s, for example, there was started the interest in a balanced diet and preventive health. So the awareness on the preventive health started to increase. In the 80s and the 90s, fitness and weight loss movements, muscle gain and performance started to be very well known. And so the healthy lifestyle. Also, new scientific research was and scientific results start to be published, and studies linking nutritional deficiencies to chronic diseases started to appear. So 1970s, 1980s, we didn't have this information on these chronic diseases, so many diseases that we are observing now. And but yes, as the time goes by, new scientific research indicates that there's a strong link between them. And finally, promotion of supplements has quick solutions by celebrities and influencers all over internet are a wonderful marketing and advertising for the growth of a nutritional industry, nutritional supplements industry. And so it is a multi-millionaire market. There is a huge variety of products and very good ones and very, very, very low quality ones also. And there are benefits, very, very interesting benefits, and they are an effective response to nutritional gaps. If they are well identified, the ones that are really performing good in our bodies, they can be the answer. But be aware of the hazards, and hazards become risks. Do not take risks. False sense of security by substituting a balanced diet. Do not ever substitute a balanced diet by these protein shakes and a few nutritional caps. Don't do that. And low quality products to low lack of regulation could impact also as a big risk to our health. So to note, supplements are to be taken as a complement, not as a substitute for a healthy diet, not ever. And we should prioritize nutritious foods, physical activity, and well-being. Okay, so the status till now, we have nutrient-poor foods. We have also limited access to natural foods. We don't have time to cook healthy foods. And at the same time, supplementation can be ineffective if misused or if it's low quality. Okay, so this is where we are right now in this first Let's Talk. And what are our options? What is supplement industry offering us? So there is a growing demand on healthy, effective, and safe products. There is a huge dissatisfaction with conventional synthetic products. And of course, we need a response to the deficiencies of the contemporary diet, our contemporary diet. And there's also an alignment with current concerns. And both are, the two of them, sustainability and well-being. So there is an evolution of awareness related to nutrition. So growing awareness of the relationship between nutrition and health, and the access to information that internet and social media gives us is a catalyst for this growing awareness, of course. Consumers are on a daily basis growing on demanding. They prefer natural and additive-free products. And of course, with all this information, consumers demand for natural and authentic products. So, and also the same as the science publishment, the science articles that I was referring also, and that are accessible to everybody who wants to read and be informed. So, natural supplements are gaining traction as an alternative. So, alternative to conventional products with a huge focus on natural ingredients. So, are being used vegetables, herbs, the so-called superfoods. They are being used with greater efficacy in producing these supplements. Also, sustainable practices are being implemented, so organic farming and eco-friendly packaging. And also, conscious consumers are attracted for health and attraction of health and environmentally friendly for the conscious consumers. Sorry. Okay, so moving forward, what should we look for? What should we look for in the label of a nutritional supplement? Stamps, yeah, some stamps, not all of them, but there is a huge impact of international certifications. You have non-GMO verified, you have ISO, you have organic, you have such just examples. And what do? They ensure the quality of safety of supplements. They certifications like GMP, good manufacturing practices, and international standard, ISO enhance credibility and trust. These certifications ensure manufacturing meets strict standards from ingredient selection to production. It warranties testing for purity, testing to check concentration, testing for safety of products. So all we read in the label corresponds to what's inside. These certifications provide also transparency about the origin of ingredients, and it's very, very interesting because if it says organic, we want to have organic inside, so, and relative to production methods also. And they offer detailed information for us, consumers, to be able to take informed decisions on what we choose to supplement. So we observe an increased impact on consumer behavior. Consumers demand for natural and much higher quality supplements. Consumers are much more discerning and focused on efficacy and also on ethical responsibility. And again, social media influences choices and sharing of experiences. So sustainability is now being taken as a core value. So sustainability is crucial in purchasing decisions of consumers. And of course, industries are obliged to adopt eco-friendly practices and use natural ingredients. And obviously, local communities are supported and promoted for this sustainable economy. All right, so these two pictures are very interesting because they are quite real, and food already arrives sick at our table. And one of the main causes of the diseases we are observing is malnutrition. So it's a fact. We all need to supplement. And this is where we land after this complete journey I drove you through that started in the early 18th century with the Industrial Revolution. So the next question is, in whom can we trust? We have so many choices in the market. We have so many options. We have supplements in supermarket shelves, in pharmacies, in expertise shops, online. In our eyes, we are bombarded with information. So I tell you that I trust Duolife. I trust World Healthy Living Foundation. And I take the chance at this moment to thank Duolife, the invitation to be here today with you. They have excellent products, natural-based products with the best practices. They have a beautiful mission, and their mission is the improvement of life standard and style of every person we meet. So I trust Duolife. And why? Speaking about trust, Duolife have a scientific council of these 8 people with a strong scientific knowledge background. They all are either MDs, PhDs in specific areas of knowledge, and they are leading the business. Yeah, so that's really important about trust. Also, talking about certifications, I could be here 1 hour more just showing certificates and stamps. And they are really well known around the world with prizes, awards, and you name it. At the same time, the partnership of the with the World Health Living Organization they organized already 1,600 more than 1,600 conferences and more than 170,000 participants. I hope everything is okay, because this is someone is trying to contact me, and because this is the first time I'm here doing this on my YouTube channel, I don't want to be well, I don't want this to to go wrong. So I don't think, oh, it's late. I'm just finishing. Okay, so just a teaser now about our next Let's Talk About. And we'll have a look on the basic supplementation. What should all of us supplement? And amongst half a dozen of things, we'll have a look on probiotics and fiber and why. And I will talk to you a little bit about microbiome. It's been classified as our second brain. Now I just want to thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to make time to take care of your health, because otherwise you'll have to find time to deal with your illness. And I don't want that to happen. Thank you very much. Talk with me, leave your comments, follow my social media, Chemistry of Wellness, Instagram, Facebook, or here on YouTube. Bye-bye. It was a big pleasure. Have a beautiful evening. Bye-bye.